Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Staten, and all over the fucking world. It's
This is Rough Riders Radio, where real hip hop lives.
Yeah. Let me play some music for y'all real quick. For the Tough Times video, I wanted to get him in the video playing the guitar. The video, the Tough Times joint that I got with my sons. I actually wanted to have Lou Jimenez in the video playing the guitar. You feel me? So, but that didn't happen. You know what I mean? I think it's because I really didn't reach out to him. I could have like pressed the issue and had him in there playing the guitar, or went to his studio and stuff like that and did that. But when y'all hear all of those distinctive guitars and all of those reggae-infused hip-hop that I'm doing, that's Lou Jimenez. That's him doing it. His wife actually has a hit record out right now. I'm not sure of the name of it. Maybe I need to get him on the show and interview him and talk about a lot of the stuff that he got going on. But on my records, off this Link Between Volume 8, when y'all hear that guitar riffing crazy, that's Lou Jimenez. And I want to show him love and give him shine, because those little guitar riffs he do on each record It's distinctively have you thinking about it and checking for it every time. Yeah. So, I want to go into some more stuff that's been going on. I already spoke to y'all about how I feel about that fake ass breakdancing lady from Australia that got all zeros on her battle. She was representing Australia. That was a bad look for Australia though, to let her come out there doing that. Why would they think that that was good breakdancing? That's crazy. That's really crazy. Oh yeah, let's not forget Reggae Passion Tuesdays every Tuesday at Your Way Production headquarters. You know what I'm saying? Last week we had Renoir Dollars as a special guest, but now this week he's bringing back his friends. So it's actually Renoir Dollars and friends. We winding down to the last of the end of the summer. You heard? Some crazy stuff going on. Shout out to Rakim, who put out a whole beat pack that people can actually that you can actually buy and have beats from Rakim and probably get a verse on it. Also, shout out to the Locks from doing Tiny Desk Concert. They bodied that shit. Salute to the Locks for being a very well-versed group. Oh, something here looks crazy. Scammers react after I turn on their webcam. I would like to go into that, but I'm not going to do that right now. Shout out to Glockaway Radio out of Philly. You know what I'm saying? I just seen something where Marlon Wayans screamed on Vlad. I want to see what that's about. Let's hear what that's about.
This game.
Let's see what this is about.
Comedian Marlon Wayans puts Vlad from Vlad TV on blast after Vlad gets upset at Marlon for charging him 40 grand to do an interview on Vlad TV. Now, for those who may not know, yesterday both Marlon and Vlad had a series of tweets going back and forth, and this is how the exchange started. Vlad starts off saying, Marlon Wayans found someone with 200 followers to agree with him. LOL. Nobody on earth is going to pay Marlon $40K for an interview when he gets between 100 to 300K views on any platform he interviews on. This guy is really delusional. Marlon responds back to Vlad saying, see, I tried to tell him I was giving him a deal. Oh well, you mad? You unprofessional, my guy. If you don't like the number, keep it moving. You look bad. You should fall back. Mad at a black man stating his number, and now you go public and use your platform to try to drag me? I never in my life dealt with this silly negotiating tactic. Vlad then responds back saying, not mad at all. I find all this amusing because you really think you're worth 40K for an interview. I said there's nobody on earth that will pay you that, and I've yet to be proven wrong. Throwing out a stupid ass number for an interview is unprofessional, my guy, because your interviews don't even make 5% of that on every platform you do. And bringing up race when there's no mention of it throughout all of our discussion shows how weak of a man you really are. Even 1 million views is about 5 grand. No way near the 40K he asked for. And he wanted 30% on top of the 40K. Like I said, delusional. Marlon then goes on to say, so yes, this has become about race. You're trying to turn us into crabs in a barrel. I see your angle now. I watched you play your hand. You want us to talk shit, beef and tear each other down while you sit back and make money. Meanwhile, you don't even show your face. Vlad then fires back at Marlon saying, not only do I show my face, but when I do interviews on the same platform as you, more than twice as many people watch. Here are the actual views from when we did The Breakfast Club 1 month apart. We reached your peak 20 years ago and have been on the decline ever since. There's nothing wrong with that, but you seem to think that this is still 2004. I've been dropping facts with actual numbers this entire time, and all you can do is play the lame-ass race card in response. So keep looking in the mirror and lying to yourself about who you think you are. The numbers don't back it up. Marlon then responds back at Vlad saying, "See, Vlad, this is the moment you've been begging for, and I ask you to leave me alone. Let it go. But you want to kick a bee's nest. You can't compete with me, bro. I am legend, and occasionally I'll come off the throne and spar with peons like you. Keep going. There's levels to this." Marlon then continues on by saying, "I see why you don't show your face. It's ugly. That ugly ass beard shit don't even look real. You look like you're in disguise. Shit looks like you take it on and off like some Mr. Potato Head shit. You're a culture vulture. We all know this, and I would tell all my people, don't F with you, period. Don't watch nothing you put out. You feed off dividing and exploiting black people and artists. You are divisive and bad for our community." Marlon would then pull out receipts responding to Vlad's comments, claiming that Marlon's career has been on the decline for years. Well, all right, we're talking about longevity when we're speaking on Marlon and his career. Okay, so of course in his tweet he says, "Listen, here's why your platform is beneath me. I am legend, bro, and that's just the beginning." Okay, Marlon then would send more shots at Vlad saying, "Listen, hey Vlad, how you go from this, then turn around and start looking like this?" Okay, turkey. Okay, so of course, Marlon being the comedian that he is.
So yeah, that's Vlad and Marlon Wayans going crazy on each other because Marlon Wayans asked Vlad for 40K and Vlad said that he's not worth that. You know what I'm saying? What do y'all think? You know what I'm saying? Say what y'all think in the comments.
Come on now. Joe Boy Productions.
Been through some rough time in my life. Been through some hard time through my life. Been through some wicked time. Hey, and when I'm looking in the mirror, I can see myself. Been through some rough time of my life. Been through some hard time through my life. Been through some wicked time. And when I'm looking at the mirror, I can see myself. Just because you are, I am. Just because I am, you are. Rude boy. Hey, come on now. Yo.
I came up homeless in hotels, man, them shelters trust I felt the way. My friends would try to walk me home, I would detour another way. They needed my protection, I'd protect them and I'd make them pay. That's how I made my little paper. I was 8 but didn't play. Never knew my father, but the streets just made me harder. Plus I had a chip on shoulder. I was young but I get older. If you cross me, I would fold just like iced coffee. I was colder. Times was wicked, got explicit, disrespect me, and I showed you that.
Been through some rough time in my life. Been through some hard time through my life. Been through some wicked time. Rude boy. And when I'm looking in the mirror, I can see myself. Been through some rough time of my life. Been through some hard time through my life. Been through some wicked time. And when I'm looking at the mirror, I can see
My
myself.
teenage years, it got crazy. Lord help you if you tried to play me. My only parent was a lady. Streets had me, she couldn't save me. Life's a movie, life's Scorsese. Guns and drugs, everything crazy. Will I make it to 20 maybe? Look myself in mirror daily. Where I see me going is kind of blurry. I'm just not knowing. Left for prison if that shows in my legacy will be closing. Gotta lose that grudge I'm holding. Cause my life was almost stolen. Always look at the bright side and always keep my mind open because
just because you are, I am. Just because I am, you are. Look at the bright side. Come on, just look at the bright side.
I'm trying to change my life around now. Wanna see heaven, not downtown. Devil's not a lie. Your body fry, so live righteous above ground. No matter how hard you got it, someone got it harder. Learn from other people's mistakes in life, you make it smarter. Don't let troubles you ended with make you a problem starter. Don't be quick to flip, have thicker skin like body armor. The wrong reaction, you get capping and you'll be a goner. What comes around, it goes around. That phrase we call it karma. Yeah.
Been through some rough time in my life. Been through some hard time through my life. Been through some wicked time. And when I'm looking in the mirror, I can see myself. Been through some rough time of my life. Been through some hard time through my life. Been through some wicked time. And when I'm looking in the mirror, I can see myself. Been through some rough time of my life. Been through some hard time through my life. Been through some wicked time. And when I'm looking at the mirror, I can see myself. Rude boy. Rude boy, looking at the real survivor. Real survivor. Come on now. Yo. I'm blessed.
It's crazy. I said no. So I'm pressing accept, and I'm saying go live with you. People can see what I'm. All right, I'm pressing go live. Lil Baddie, what's good? Dope show yesterday. Yeah, man. Just hit request. Yeah, but now I'm sending you a to come in on a live. I'm accepting, and I'm saying go live with you. Is it not showing you something that's bringing you in? You killed it too. I got all those clips too that I'm about to put up. You know what I mean? Shout out S Butler 469. I'm trying to get my guest in here today. See, we got invite to join. Yeah, Flyty, you was invited. You tried it again, right? It says it is unable to join. It says something about you are unable to join. I think it's something on your settings or something like that.
You got me?
Hold up. Yeah, here you go. Ah.
Can you hear me?
Maybe. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got Flyty on the live Grindhard TV podcast. For all y'all people that don't know, this is the man behind Coldchillin Records. You know what I'm saying? He's the co-producer of Mr. Magic's Rap Attack. That's actually, if you here, so you could definitely like dispel any myths or whatever that's right there. But that's actually the first hip hop radio show on ever. Am I not correct?
You are correct. Can you hear me?
Could you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
All right, cool.
All right, so like I was saying, you are the co-creator of Mr. Magic's Rap Attack, and that was the first hip-hop radio show that was on ever, correct?
Ever. There was nothing before us. We were the only show in the whole universe.
So look, what I
We
want
were
to
on a
say,
station called WHBI, which was a station you had to pay to be on.
I think I remember that station, WHBI.
You had to pay $50 an hour to be on the station.
Yeah.
And then after us, followed we were first. Then the world famous Supreme team came. That was the next ones. That was C Divine, the Mastermind, and Just Allow the Superstar. But then they went on to make records, big records. They had Hey DJ, World Famous, and Buffalo Gal. They became what they basically did was took their radio show and made records out of it. Then we had then there was Jerry Bloodrock. Jerry Bloodrock went on to become the creator record label called Reality. His first artist was Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick with the show and Lottie Dottie. Right. Then you had Africa Islam. Africa Islam was part of the Zulu Nation. So and then later on came Half Pipe and the Awesome Two. That was like years later. I'm talking about like 1979, you know, was us, and maybe a couple of months later, world famous Supreme team, Jerry Bloodrock and Africa Islam. The Red Alert and them came like years later. They came came like 1984, somewhere around there.
So basically, the stories is true from what Molly Moore said when he said when they was in the studio right down the block from Queensbridge, Power Play, and Mr. Magic and Molly Moore was there, and KRS-One played his music, and Mr. Magic told him his shit was whack. Get that shit out of here.
Well, let me tell you that story. That was my fault. The reason it was my fault, Scott. I went to Howard University. That's where I graduated from. Howard. My man Kasim, who also went to Howard, his girl was Scott LaRock's aunt.
Oh.
And she asked me to listen to her little cousin's record. All right. And I said, give him my number. And he called me. I told him to meet me at Power Play. But I forgot to tell Magic and Molly, and I was late.
Oh shit.
So
wow.
You gotta understand. Let me tell you something about when you put records on the radio. When you put records on the radio, buddy, thousands of people be after you.
Yeah.
So Magic. I ended up being the one that put the records on because Magic was not diplomatic. All right. Him and Marley were in the studio doing a remix. There was a song called "Release Yourself." It became a big record. They were doing the remix, so that means we working. So when Scott and Chris came in there talking about a record, Magic wasn't. It wasn't that the record was whack. If it was anybody, or that it was Chris and them or Scott, if anybody that came in there, Magic would have cursed him out and threw him out.
Wow. Yeah, I heard Magic. I heard Mr. Magic was like you said. He wasn't no joke, man. He was no joke.
Mr. Magic was the king of hip hop. Period. I won't even say the king of hip hop because hip hop didn't exist yet. The term hip hop didn't start until like the 80s, the late 80s.
Right.
You know.
So who do you think coined that term?
Huh?
Who you think coined the term hip hop?
I could tell you what made it like on everybody's lips. I mean, Cowboy from the Furious Five and Love Bug Starsky, they're the first ones to use the words hip hop. But Aaron Fuchs was a writer for the Village Voice, and he didn't know what to call it, so he said that hip hop music. He took the term from Love Bug Starsky because they always started out to the hip hop, so he just named it that hip hop music. Wow. If he'd have called it that floor music, that's what they've been calling that shit today. So Kool Herc and them niggas to cut that bullshit out about they started hip hop. Nigga, y'all ain't start shit. Y'all do what everybody else is doing.
Wow. Cause Kool
Herc ain't doing in 1973. He wasn't the first one to have no party in the community center. That was going on all over the city. You always had parties in the center. He wasn't playing no different records than nobody else.
Hey, yo, Flyty, you know what's so crazy? Because I was just about to ask you that. Did you ever see that movie or that documentary, The Forefathers, The Founding Fathers?
No.
Where they was talking about, it was a dude from Brooklyn. His name was Grandmaster Flowers.
Flowers was the first DJ I ever heard of in my life. And that was in 1960. Listen to me. I was 12 years old. 1969. Let's understand. Technology also gave meaning to have a DJ. DJs prior to that was guys who talked on the radio. That was a DJ.
Wow.
All right. Grandmaster Flowers came along because he had two turntables, but there was no such thing as two turntables when we was growing up. You had what they call a hi-fi.
Right.
It was a piece of equipment in your mother's and father's living room, and you put one record on at a time. And it was and it wasn't even stereo. It was mono. But
it had that thing over it, the big plastic thing that you had to lift up.
Right, you had to lift up to let it go down one record at a time.
Exactly.
And when you went out to clubs, the music was a jukebox, or they played one record at a time. Wasn't no mixing, none of that. Flowers was the first one to do that.
So why are they giving all of this credit to Kool Herc and the Bronx then?
People from the Bronx do. You know why? In my opinion, you know. Now let me just say this to you, and people will get mad at me. When I was a teenager growing up in Brooklyn, we thought the niggas from the Bronx is bums.
But the way the Bronx looked, who didn't think that? It was a slummy, burnt down buildings.
We used to call it the burnt down Bronx. Mr. Magic called it the boogie down Bronx.
Oh, so Mr. Magic
named it the boogie down Bronx because HBI used to have a strong signal up there, and the Fever was like the first big rap club up there. It was called let me tell you something. Everything was called disco.
Right.
Disco Fever, even the rapper's name. Disco B, Disco 4, Disco Mario, you know. So there was no such thing as hip hop. Disco was when you first start mixing records, and that's what really set it off.
Right. So
even the first rap records was rapping over disco records.
So why does everybody try to say that hip hop derived from reggae music?
I don't know about that. I never heard that before.
Yeah, because they say Kool Herc was Jamaican, so they say it was all of the selective and all that.
I ain't never heard of that. Kool Herc. Let me tell you something. Kool Herc was a businessman.
Right.
And what I would say Kool Herc did, he made it so younger people could go to parties. You didn't have to wait till you was 18 and 21 to hang out.
Right.
Most of his parties was 14, 15 years old. Most of the Bronx parties was 14, 15 years old.
Right.
All right. Brooklyn, Queens, the outdoor party, we would call them the jams. Well, everybody called them the outdoor jams.
Park jams.
The park jams. That's when, you know, we called, we was the younger people. Once you start going inside, like Nemo's and Nell Gwynn's and Leviticus, you had to at least act like you was 21. You could get in as a teenager, but you had to have a mature attitude about yourself.
Hey, yo, when I moved to Queens from Brooklyn, it was 1982. And I remember going to 127 Park and doing park jams and shit like that. You feel me? So that's what I remember when I moved to East Elmhurst.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but see, now, you said 1982? The first park jam I went to was 10 years before that, 1972.
Well, yep.
And we used to have park jams in Kingston Park, Lincoln Terrace, all in Park, St. John's Park. You know, and the thing about the park jams, nobody advertised park jams. You just heard the music, and you would make your way towards the music.
So basically, since Kool Herc made a flyer for that little park, not the park jam, but that joint that was in the center, that they coined it the birthday of hip hop. Listen
to me. Hold on. Now you know what I'm gonna give the Bronx credit for. Even though they flyers look like a fifth grader made. You ever see they flyers? This shit's like somebody in the fifth grade made them.
Yeah.
But they in Brooklyn and Queens, you went to the printer and had your flyers made.
Right.
Everything looked professional. The Bronx looked like you was they have what they call a mimeograph machine in your school. Everything looked like you copied it because the lines wasn't always straight. So everything like the little kid made it.
Right.
But they made them. So they started documenting history without knowing they were documenting history.
Right.
The Bronx, one thing about the Bronx, they got a history of what they did. Listen, there were just as many DJs in Brooklyn, just as many rappers in Brooklyn, just as many DJs in Queens, just as many DJs in Queens as it was in the Bronx. But in Brooklyn and Queens, it wasn't that important.
Right.
Every block, wherever you went, had some rappers. Everywhere. Harlem, too. Harlem was always a money spot.
Right. That's where that's where the drug
this is Sugar Hill Gang. I mean, Sugar Hill Records was really the first official rap label. And Miss Robinson called it Sugar Hill because she thought rap started in Harlem.
Oh, because they was from Jersey, right?
But she know the label, but Miss Rob grew up in Harlem and Mr. Rob grew up in Harlem.
Oh, okay.
By the time see Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, Joe Robinson, they were already millionaires by the time rap came along.
Right.
Because they had the Isley Brothers, they had the Moments, they had the Blue Magic, they had everybody.
Right.
All right. So they already had mansions and stuff before rap came along. So it was easy for them. And Miss Robinson was like the big black business woman in the music industry. So when she a lot of things had to happen for Rappers Delight to go national. It ain't easy to make a record go national, my man. You can't just put a record out and just take off. You got to have
that there was a
connections. You got to pay people. You got to do all of that. Miss
that
Robinson had been around
like
long enough that she could push Rappers Delight. All right. And you know, the original three that was supposed to be the Sugar Hill Gang was Grandmaster Caz, Love Bug Starsky, and Spoonie G.
Wow.
But they didn't like
Cass last week.
Huh?
I just seen Cass and Melly Mel last week at Crotona Park. It was an event, summer stage.
They always did. Every year. But they didn't want to call it Rappers Delight. They wanted to call it MC Wars. But Miss Robinson said, for the first record, we got to make it pretty. If you look at the Sugar Hill label, it looks like Candyland.
Yes, exactly.
Because Miss Robinson had been around long enough to know I have to make this pretty for everybody in this country. Everybody don't think like New York. MC Wars ain't gonna work. So when Caz, that's like I told you, Love Bug Starsky was responsible for the hip hop. That's why the first verse starts out like that. He was supposed to do that. Big Bang Hank's verse is Caz's verse. He spells it out. I'm the CAS and the OVA. He spells it out.
Wow.
And Master G was supposed to be Spoonie G.
Whoa. Yo, you dropping some heavy bombs right now, bro.
But what I'm trying to say, but Miss Robinson was a genius. Because she knew what it took to build a record label. Understand the kids were not, what we knew about a record label? Nothing.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you something else. I end up loving Mr. and Mrs. Robinson. I learned so much from them just when because they was involved with us because we were in radio. And we were the only radio show playing rap.
Right.
So they had to deal with us. But they taught me so much. When I made my deal with Warner Brothers, before I went out there, Joe Robinson came to my house and sat me down and explained everything, all the do's and don'ts. No matter how much money they offer you, Ty, do not give them your catalog. Before I got there, I don't care what they offer. Your catalog is your pension plan, and I got a pension plan.
Oh, so you own a lot of the catalog then?
Yes.
From the records you're involved in.
Yes.
Could you name some of the projects that's yours that you own?
Every album on coldchillin.
Wow. So would you say that you own these masters? Did these guys sign their publishing over, or you just own the masters?
Publishing and masters is two different things.
Right. So you own the records.
Listen. The person that owns the master is the person that paid for it.
Right.
When you go in the studio and you after it's finished, the person that go and pay for it to take the tapes out of there, that's who owns it.
Well, I own everything I've ever done.
Right. Whoever pays for it, the person that owns it.
Right.
That ain't got nothing to do with the publishing. Publishing deals with writing.
Yeah, because I heard
most of the artists sold their publishing.
Right,
because record labels will say, okay, I'll give you $1,000 for every point you. I give you for every point you want. Every point you give me, I give you $1,000. And artists look at that like a bank. I give you 10 points for 10,000. I give you 20 points for 20,000. And then at the end of the day, 20 years later, they want to say they took it from me. And you know the thing I hate the worst? Let me tell you something. Record contracts from independent labels, because that's where rap artists sign. Major labels weren't involved in hip-hop at first.
Right.
Every label used the same contract. You get this from Woolworths.
Right.
Wasn't nothing in Greek.
So
if you could read, you could read. If you could read, you could read. So when I hear somebody say, well, it took advantage of us because we didn't understand, nigga, you didn't understand what? The words? What are you talking about? Joe, and check this out. Most of the independents, like me, Russell, Andre, they're white boys, Tom Shulman, Corey Robbins. Everybody was young.
Right.
Everybody. Well, nobody, we were just the ones that put the work in.
Right.
Andre Harrell was a former artist in Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah. With the guy L.A. Reid.
Let me tell you something.
It was Andre Harrell and L.A. Reid was a group, right?
No, Alonzo Brown.
Alonzo Brown. Okay.
Right. But then I remember Andre one day on the bus set because he wasn't making no money from the record sale. And that nigga looked at me and said, I got it now, Ty. I'm going to start my own record label. I'm going to get a whole bunch of artists and I'm going to get paid. And that's what he did.
Right.
You know what? Let me say something, bro. Let's say you decide to start a record label today.
Right.
You ain't got no artists. When you start the record label today, you're starting it to get yourself paid.
Right.
That's all you think about. You.
Okay.
So of course, every contract that you have is going to be geared to lean towards your favor. But then, to put out a special one now is easier. But back then, my brother, every record that I manufacture would cost me $1.20. Every one of them.
Right.
Because you had to pay for the lines on the record. You had to pay for the vinyl. You had to pay for the hole in the middle of the record. You had to pay for the label on top of it. You had to pay for the words that go on the label. You had to go pay for the sleeve. You had to pay for the jacket. That would come to $1.20 a record.
Yo, that's about right. Because when I started,
then you got to pay for shipping. All right. Then you got to pay for studio. Then you got to pay your employees. Rap artists want to act like when the money come in, you just get it, no nothing go nowhere else. And your employees got to get paid every week, or they ain't gonna be there.
Right.
It costs a lot of money. And guess what? Every record that a record label make don't hit. Some of them shits don't be whack. Don't sell.
That's when they get shelved, right?
Not shelved. They just don't hit. Every record you make don't hit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not necessarily because it's not a good record. Could come out the wrong time. Listen, radio stations, they only got 20 new records on their station.
Right.
And every week they might be able to change one or two of them. So out of them 2 slots, 1,000 people be bidding for them.
Wow.
Sometimes it's you just can't get in. When I was at BLS, right, Frankie Crocker was our boss. He used to have posted in programming 32 ways to say no. And he would tell us, say no most of the time because you can't play them all.
Right.
So it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It's just a thing where you don't, sometimes it's just not, there's no room for it.
Frankie Crocker was the guy. He had that slogan, Frankie Crocker.
Yeah, if Frankie Crocker ain't on your radio, then your radio is not really on. That's what's his slogan. Frankie Crocker was the baddest guy I ever saw on the radio. And then Mr. Magic. Crocker, Mr. Magic. That's it.
Hey, yo, Ty, you've been around like the very intricate part of the hip hop culture really starting and flourishing to be on a business level. What made you want to start, you know what I'm saying, coldchillin records and have the whole Juice Crew and the whole
I can tell I'll tell you why. When we had the only rap show, there were no records really. We didn't have a lot of them. There was a few records out. So we used to get cassettes of people off the street. Like Fearless 4, Treacherous 3, before they had deals. And we would play their tapes. And kids would go to the record store to buy them, but they didn't exist as records. And then they would ask the kids, where you hear it at? They would say the Mr. Magic Rap Attack. So that's when record companies started approaching us.
Right.
So every time, and they would listen to us every week. Every time they hear something that they never heard before, they would come to us and we would make deals. We made deals for like I said, Fearless 4, Force MDs, Houdini, all of that.
Right.
You know, because so we became an A&R source. And then we decided to try it ourselves. Well, we did Roxanne's Revenge.
Right.
Right. But we did that on Pop Art. That was like our first official artist with Roxanne Shante. Then we did MC Shan with a Marley Scratch. But then we decided to try our hand because I said to Magic, I'm tired of us giving all these artists away, man. Let's do it ourselves.
Right.
The first record we tried to do, we got jerked.
What label was it?
It was called Bridge Records, and the song was The Bridge.
Oh, that's the Bridge.
And the Bridge was the biggest record of the summer. And
right,
the distributors wouldn't pay us, the stores wouldn't pay us, and wasn't nothing we could do about it.
But why?
Because they looked at us like we ain't. See, they looked at us like we was just a one record company. First of all, listen here. When you give stores records as a record company, right? The stores got 90 days to pay you.
Right.
So if you ain't got money, you can't even manufacture records. Remember I tell you, they cost $1.20 each.
Correct.
So if you do 5,000, you gotta have $5,000.
Right.
So, but I didn't get mad with what they did to us, because now you remember, you got to deal with distributors that's on the West Coast, in the Midwest, and they just ain't paying. Because everything is gangster. Everything.
So you would practically have to go to these stores and practically demand your money from them in person.
Yeah, but deeper than that, the distributor, you got to go through distributors. So you gotta get distributors your records, and then they gotta get your money. And
then you get paid.
The distributors are big companies, and they keep putting you, and they know you ain't got no money to sue them. So, but I didn't look at it as a negative. I looked at it as a lesson.
Right.
And I said, you know what we gotta do? We gotta have so many records that they gotta pay us. So I used to use what we call the carrot before the horse. We used to put out a lot of records. We put out Raw, Make the Music, we put out 5 or 6 records out at the same time. So we would say to all distributors, if you want this one, you gotta pay me for that one.
Right. Smart thinking.
So they would have to pay us for the, if you want to get this next one, buddy, and they want it because it's hot.
Right.
So that's how I lived. That's how we made it happen. We were
but
independent.
how did y'all get all of these artists? Like, Because y'all started the whole Juice Crew. How did all these artists come to you?
But no. The original Juice Crew was not what you think. The original Juice Crew was Mr. Magic, Curtis Blow, Grandmaster Flash, Grandmaster Melly Mel, Sweet G, Starsky, me, Jalil. Then there was some people in the Juice Crew who weren't artists. So we had Mandingo, we had Sal. So we had that's before Kane and Shantae even existed. They were babies.
So y'all was a generation before them.
Right. So then what happened, the Juice Crew that everybody knows is just the Juice Crew that made records together and was all on the same label.
Right.
The original Juice Crew was on different labels. And all the labels hated each other, the label heads. So they couldn't do records together.
Wow.
Which was foolish.
That's crazy.
So now Shantae became a part of that original Juice Crew. Shantae and Shan, they became a part of that original Juice Crew.
Right.
They got accepted. And then once they were in and, with Magic was down, then automatically Biz came, he became Juice Crew. Kane came, Craig G, Tragedy, all that became Juice Crew.
So that was like the youngins that came up after y'all, that they was the ones that was the successors of all of y'all hard work and what y'all put together.
Right. So then so we were killing them. And the one thing that Juice Crew had that nobody else had, the Juice Crew had radio.
Y'all had what?
Juice Crew could go in the studio, make a record, come out and be on the radio tonight. Nobody could do that.
So y'all had the shit y'all had the market cornered.
We had it cornered. We had the rap attack.
And that was
the Magic Rap Attack.
Cause we all tuned into that shit back in the days. We all was waiting.
Magic was on in 20 markets.
Right.
So he had to cover this. And if he did that world premiere, your record was gonna come on.
The world premiere.
And we had, I see here where Glamorous says no females in the Juice Crew until Roxanne, Shantae, Glamorous, and Debbie D. Well, that's not true. The first female in the Juice Crew was Jiggalette.
See?
Jiggalette was in the original Juice Crew. Now, Glamorous was my baby. She was in the Juice Crew, but she was in that second tier. Jiggalette was made games females play back in 1982. So she was the first female in her and Paulette.
Look at that. See?
Paulette.
See, look, you clearing up. See, look, oh, I'm sorry. That's like, I'm sorry. See, that's what I'm saying about having you on the show. There's so many different myths that people are speaking about in hip hop culture in the very beginning. And with you being on the show, you can definitely clear up some of the things because you were there. You were a part of it. You are the person that created a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is why I want you on the show so bad. You feel what I'm saying? Now, where are you originally from?
Me, I'm from Brooklyn.
Oh, you from Brooklyn? Okay. So, did you ever move to Queens, or you always was living in Brooklyn?
I never lived in Queens.
Okay. So, how did so many Queens artists become like the second genre of Juice Crew?
Because Marley was from Queens.
Oh, okay.
Marley was from Queensbridge.
Right.
Remember the people we put down originally was from Harlem. Fearless Ford, Disco 4. We was uptown people. Cool Mo D was down with us. Fantasy 3. All that was Harlem.
Right.
Master OC. All that was Harlem.
I got a question for you. Is it true that battle rapping started from Cool Mo D and Busy B?
I could say this. I can't say it started. I can't answer that question. I can't say that was a famous battle.
Yes.
But I can't, See, you know what? When it comes to hip hop, I see Paulette said hip hip-hop started in the Bronx, 1972-73. All right. Listen, my only contention is that everybody did the same thing everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't say to me that in the Bronx they was playing certain kind of music and Brooklyn wasn't.
Right.
You can't say that to me. Now you can say what I would say the Bronx took it more seriously. I would definitely say that.
I got a story, right? I don't know. Do you know Hassan from Nightlife Entertainment? They called him Sonny back in the days.
I'm not sure. Go ahead.
Well, he got on my show because he's my OG from back in the days. He told me that the reason why the Bronx was considered as the birthplace of hip hop, aside from Kool Herc's Flyer, is because when Fab Freddy took one of the people, like I think from MTV or something like that, he took her to the Bronx.
I agree with that. Listen, the Bronx. I don't want to dish nobody because I got a lot of people from the Bronx, but I want to say this: the Bronx, as far as white journalists were concerned, was the safest place.
You said it was the safest place?
Because how can I say this? The people from the Bronx respected white people. Brooklyn, if you came to Brooklyn, you was white with a bunch of equipment, they was taking that equipment. Period. They was gonna rob you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Harlem might too. Harlem gonna try to set you up some kind of way. Straight up. Harlem gonna try to con you, something like that.
Yo, it's funny you say that, Flyty, because Mace and Cameron just was online the other day on their show talking about how Big L was trying to set up Mace a whole lot of times.
Yeah, I can believe that Harlem was known for that.
Yeah.
Harlem was known for trying to con you out of shit, manipulate you out of shit. Brooklyn was just
to get robbed.
Listen to me. Remember I tell you the world famous Supreme team? That was two guys, C. Divine, the mastermind, Just a Lot of Superstar. And there was three car Molly niggas.
Them niggas that be on the Ave doing this with the cards with the
right. And they had #1 records.
Wow.
You never heard of them performing nowhere. You know why?
Why?
They was the type that get the deposit and don't show. Or show up they be there and they get the money and leave out the back door.
Wow.
The world famous Supreme team, if you gave them this choice, I'll give you $1 million and you can leave. And you said the other choice was, but you could con that guy to $10,000. They're gonna take the con.
Wow.
Conning you is in their blood. You know, so or robbing you. One time they had an interview at BLS. When I was working at BLS. Who's at BLS? They had a Japanese crew. They stole all their equipment.
Yo, that's crazy.
The Bronx was more, cooperative. That's the word I want to use.
Right.
They were more cooperative with white people. That's why they were able to do Wild Style with them. But they were more cooperative.
That's what Sonny said. He said when they was going to do Wild Style and all of these different documentaries on it, Fab Freddy would take them to the Bronx. So that even coined it more to make
and
people
the Bronx kids, think about this. Even with the flyers and the parties, the Bronx kids would do something just to be able to be on the other side of the rope. Where the so-called stars are. You wouldn't have to give them no money.
Right.
Just put their name on the flyer, they doing it. Brooklyn ain't going for that. You got to pay them. Harlem, you got to pay them. The Bronx, all you had to do was tell them, I'll put your name on the flyer. And they put 30 names on the flyer. And all your name was on the flyer, you was happy. But they were young too. They were young. Everybody 14, 15, 16 years old.
Mm.
You know, and they wasn't thinking about money.
So look, I was also, before you came on the show, I was talking about that girl from Australia that was breakdancing in the Olympics and how she got a score rating of 0. Did you happen to see her routine?
Well, listen. I can't judge breakdancing, but I could judge that shit. All right. It's like I was saying, how could they even have her up there?
That's what I said.
That was to me disrespectful to breakdancing.
It was disrespectful to breakdancing, and it was a smack in the face to their country to represent a genre of something in the Olympics with her looking that amateurish.
No. To me, it's listen. To me, it was making fun of breakdancing. It was saying, this is the shit they be doing, rolling on the floor.
Yeah, it was kind of like a disrespect. But you know,
this is a sign of disrespect. Because
I looked it up, and
some people in some countries who think that's what it was, who just didn't know.
Yeah,
just
but you know,
listen, the Olympics supposed to be the best of the best.
Right.
In whatever sport. You see ping pong? You know they the best of the best.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right. You see the people that shoot the crossbow arrow? Right. They the best of the best. So if you put that girl from Australia up there breakdancing and she doing that, you thinking that's the best.
Well,
and
she got
like, what type of garbage is this?
Her scores was 0. And I did some research on it. And her and her husband was on the head of the committee to have the level of contest.
Wasn't Crazy Legs there?
I don't understand why he wasn't there.
I thought he was there.
Nah, I don't think they had him there as a judge or nothing.
Oh wow! How could you have breakdancing and the judges not be from New York?
You ever heard of the guy named Trixie?
No.
It's a guy named Trixie. He said he's the one that coined breakdancing. Like he started it. He's a guy.
Listen, you know what? I don't like to get on who started what, because I like to say, if we're going to call hip hop would be the combination of rap, DJing, breakdancing, and graffiti.
The 4 elements.
All right. I would like to say it's a phenomenon that started in New York City. Because graffiti, I remember people doing that when I was in junior high school in the 60s.
And that was before breakdancing and hip hop.
That was before everything. All right. Then came breakdancing. Now breakdancing was definitely not Brooklyn.
Right.
It eventually became Brooklyn, like in places like Bushwick and East New York, because Puerto Ricans lived out there.
Right.
And the Puerto Ricans was doing breakdancing.
So would you say that hip hop was?
Let me tell you something. There's a reason why Brooklynites, Queens, and Harlem didn't do that, because they gear was too nice. There was not a spin on the floor with their shit on. The
niggas ain't want to fuck up
Bronx, they didn't have no gear. They wore no name brand tracksuits, so they could spin on the floor and shit.
Right.
You wasn't spinning on with your Quarterfield or your Taylor Mays or your Blas or your Knits. You wasn't doing that.
Was Sergio Tashini out back then, or was it just Adidas?
Huh?
Was Sergio Tashini out back then, or was it just Adidas?
What? Well, listen. No, Converse is the first shit.
Oh, okay. It's Converse
and Croquettes.
The 69ers.
Let me tell you something. Adidas and Puma and them was like off-brand everybody. Everybody was in the Converses. You like Pumas because Walt Frazier wore Pumas.
Right.
He played for the Knicks and he had Pumas. Adidas was some bullshit. They didn't start putting names on tracksuits until like the 80s.
With Run DMC and shit, right?
With Brandon, yeah. Brandon didn't start to the 80s. You know, like the only thing that was being branded was jeans. Sergio Valente, you know, Jordache.
Lee's.
That jeans were being branded.
Facts.
You know, tracksuits didn't get branded till later.
Somebody said Flyty, the first independent CEO out of Brooklyn, the first Brooklyn CEO on the independent.
Let me think about that. Wait a minute. I don't want to accept some shit ain't true. Let me think about that. First independent CEO from Brooklyn. That ain't gotta be true, y'all. I would say maybe the first rap label.
Oh, okay.
Because there were labels long before me from Brooklyn.
Hey, yo, Ty, you being a part of the first hip hop radio show and that first click, because before there was Wu-Tang or any of that, the Juice Crew was the first
Wu-Tang was signed to me too.
Oh, yeah?
Wu-Tang is babies. Wu-Tang don't come to the 90s. Because, you know, I had Jizza, RZA, and ODB. I had all three of them.
Yeah, those are the three cousins right there.
I had all three of them. You know, so they're related to the Force MDs. That was their big cousins.
The Force MDs used to be Force MCs, right?
Dr. Rock and the Force MCs, yes.
Right. They got some big records as R&B singers, though.
Let me tell you how the Force MCs became the Force MDs. Me and Magic saw them by the Staten Island Ferry. They used to do this sing-songy type of rap. All right? But their performances was dope. Now, people don't say this. Force MDs bust Cold Crush ass in a battle. Bust they ass. And I don't care what Cold Crush say. Force MCs bust their ass. All right. Anyway, Magic took them to Tommy Boy. During a break in the studio, they was just fooling around singing. And we was like, oh, shoot. They could sing. And Magic had an idea to do what he called hip-hop doo-wop. And Magic did a song called Let Me Love You.
Let me love you.
Right. And that was the first song they did. And it had rap and singing in it.
Yeah.
And Magic called it hip-hop doo-wop.
So that was the first type of Drakey type of sing-song rappy shit.
Right. And their father, Mr. Lundy, which I disagree with, once they became, their father thought he was Joe Jackson.
Oh, okay.
He got involved once they hit, once they got a deal. And he got rid of Dr. Rock.
Oh, man.
I was really upset behind. I'm the one who named them the Force MDs.
Right.
Because if they couldn't be the Force MCs anymore, so I said, let's make them Dr. Rock and the Force Doctors, Force MDs.
Right.
And the fathers got rid of Rock. Dr. Rock was the star. You gotta understand, back in the day, the DJ was the man.
Right.
The rappers wasn't the man, the DJ was. And Dr. Rock was the man in Staten Island. And I felt like it would be fly for a singing group to have a DJ.
Right.
But they couldn't see that. You know. And
so who did he replace? Who did the father replace with Dr. Rock?
No DJ. No DJ.
Oh, so they just didn't have a DJ at all.
Right, they didn't have a DJ. They just became full singers.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Because I remember one time Polo said to me, God bless the day, he the one who told me that the DJs was the guys that had to hook up with the labels and they was pulling in the artists. That's why you had Eric B and Rakim, Coogee Rock.
Say it again. Oh, say that again.
Polo was the one that told me that DJs was the ones that had the hookups with the labels that would go in with their own artists. That's why you had
DJs had the hookup with the what you call the people that gave out records? Record pools.
Record pools, right.
They had hookup with the record pools. And the record pools had hookups with the record companies. So that made it easier for a DJ to get to a record company. Case in point, Africa Bambaataa. Bambaataa was a DJ. Or had the equipment. And that he was able to get to Tommy Boy, because Tommy Boy owned Dance Music Report, which was a record pool.
Yo, Ty, I want to ask you a question about that, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to. But what's your take on that whole Africa Bambaataa situation?
I think they full of shit. Let me say this. The first guy who came out and accused Bam of being a pedophile. At the time, he was 55. He said Bam, and when he was 55, Bam was 57. And he said Bam did to him when he was 15. All right.
So that would make Bam 17.
That ain't pedophile. I mean, you're just homos.
Right.
That ain't no pedophile. And let me tell you something, my man. You go say to me that it would happen time and time again. I mean, if you do something to me one time that I don't like, I'm not going back.
Right.
If you kept going back, you like getting dick down.
You talk about Hassan Campbell?
I don't know what his name was. It wasn't that, Then the next guy who was acting like he was such a thug.
That was Hassan Campbell.
Come on, man. You was what, 3-4 years younger than him? That ain't being no pedophile. Listen. The age, like sometimes you might have a crew. In that crew, somebody might be 18 and somebody might be 13.
Right.
In that crew. And then everything in between. You know what I'm saying? And if you 13 in that crew, that means you got a maturity level that they don't mind you being around.
Right.
Now, when they say everybody up in this apartment was knowing what was going on, so now I'm saying, hold up, are you telling me the Zulus was gay?
Wow.
Because if everybody know what time it was, ain't nobody just coming up there and watching it go down. They was all doing it.
Right.
If you there, you there. So what you trying to say? The Zulus is gay?
It seemed like
I'm going to tell you my personal experience with Africa Bambaataa. He was always respectful, always a person who had ideas, and he was a businessman.
Right.
Now, I wasn't into so close to him that his private life I was into. And all the years, and I know the Zulu swear by him. He's like their Jesus Christ.
Right. That's how I always looked at him as.
So for you to come along and try to dog this man, I'm really without any proof. So we live in the age of accusation makes it true.
Right.
No proof. Just saying he did it. You know what I'm saying? I can't go for that. I only go by what I know, and I've been knowing Bam. When I say know him, I'm gonna say an acquaintance. I've been knowing him for 40 years. And in 40 years, he never did nothing slick. He even let me know he was gay. Yeah. Benny Medina was gay. He did slick shit. Will Smith did slick shit. Do you know that show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was supposed to be MC Shan?
I heard a lot of stuff MC Shan was presented to MC Shan, but his attitude.
Listen. They were recording, they were taping that shit. But Benny Medina, the executive producer, him and Quincy Jones, another faggot ass nigga. Fuck him too. They turned Tevin Campbell out. They need to go to jail for that. Anyway, They tried that shit with Shan, and Shan cursed them out.
Right.
Naturally, he didn't get the part. You know.
So that's what
Will
it was about.
Smith, listen.
It wasn't about his attitude.
Some people, huh?
It wasn't about his attitude. It was about he wasn't trying to get down with the swirl.
He wasn't trying to get down. And you know what? There are some people like that. You know,
of course.
Even let me tell you something. Now I watch these girls. Let's take Russell Simmons. These 13 girls said he did whatever. All right. I know all 13 of them. Y'all better not ask me to testify, because I know why y'all got down. You can't wait till you get 50 to say he did that. You was down with it.
Yo,
whatever they did, you went there over and over and over again. You was up in Russell's house doing whatever they was doing up there. So don't come back talking about, well, yeah, he did this to me. Yeah, but you was down.
50 years later, they try to say that shit.
And Russell, one thing about Russell Simmons, he ain't no rapist. Now the nigga will promise you he'll make you a star. I ain't gonna say he ain't gonna do that. He'll say that, yo, baby, come here, I'll make you a model. He'll do that.
Right.
But you know what? You ever heard of Big Les?
Yeah.
All right.
She from East Almost.
You can have Big Les had character. When they offered her some shit like that, when the producer of a video offered her, yo, do whatever with me and you could be down, she was appalled.
Right.
And cursed him out. See, when that point comes in your life, female, male, whatever, you got a choice to make.
Right.
Well, am I gonna do this for this part, or am I gonna be a lady and be presentable to my and be able to walk with myself and lift them up with myself? Big Les chose to say, I'm not doing that. You understand?
I remember Big Les.
You can't do it. And then, you know, and then 50 years later, because every woman, I've been in this game a long time, and I try to tell every woman, don't do anything for your body, because eventually you're going to age out.
Right.
Because the age of the woman don't change.
Right.
It's going to still be the girl in her 20s, except you're not going to be in your 20s, maybe 30s.
Yep.
So when you get, if you're gonna give somebody some pussy, pardon my expression, or suck somebody dick, after a while, you don't look the same.
Exactly.
And power people, and guess what? You got women in power positions to do it too.
Facts. A lot of women was taking advantage of dudes as well.
Yeah. Dudes and women.
Yes.
You know, you want this deal? You gotta come do this. You know.
So Ty, I got a question for you. I found out that when y'all was popping, really popping, a lot of girls used to just come to Queensbridge to hang out, just to meet like MC Shan, Molly Moore, possibly you.
Shan's first wife got him like that.
Wow.
Terry got him like that. Terry used to come to Queensbridge till she found him and found his grandfather and me. And I was kind of guilty of being responsible because she asked me, Shan's girl was Synovia. Synovia. She was going to Colgate University.
Right.
And I remember Terry asked me, how did she get him? And I told her. And I said to her, the best way to get to Shan is through his grandfather.
Right.
Gramps, because Gramps raised Shan.
Right.
And when we be on the road, she would go to Gramps' house and clean the house, cook, go to the store for him. So by the time we get back, Gramps is loving Terry. You know, and Gramps, you know, and Shan got with her, you know, and Gramps loved Terry. But what Terry wanted to be a star too. Case in point, when I would introduce Terry to anybody, I would say, this is MC Shan's wife, Terry. And she would get mad. Why you always gotta say MC Shan's wife? Why can't you say Terry? I said, because you are MC Shan's wife. And I'm saying that so guys don't try pushing up on you.
Right.
If I just say this is Terry, that means you open.
Right. She's open meat. Like, hey, yo, so could you tell me exactly what years to what Cold Chilling existed? Or is it still active now?
No, it's not active. No. You know, I was never, a lot of people think that Cold Chilling got dropped or something like that. I left the music business because it wasn't for me.
Okay.
To run a record label, you really have to be a ruthless person, and I wasn't ruthless. You can't fall in love with an artist because eventually you have to drop them.
Right.
And when everybody was telling me to drop Shan and Shantae, I wouldn't do it because that was my original two. I'm not getting rid of them. We could find something. We could make a record, whatever. But everybody was, you know, when Wu-Tang and Kid Capri and all them start coming through, I start getting them. Everybody was saying I need to concentrate on them and get rid of Shan and Shantae. Matter of fact, I created a new label for Shan and Shantae called Living Large.
Right.
You know? But I wasn't going to get rid of them. And like I said, you have to be a really ruthless person. So, and then when Mo Austin was the chairman of Warner Brothers, when he retired, the East Coast took over. And they wanted me to sign an insurance clause, and I wouldn't do it. The insurance clause said basically, if any of my artists die, then Warner Brothers and me would get paid. And I never forget, I came home and said to my wife, told her what they wanted me to do. She said, well, you know, might not be bad. If something happened to them, their families make money. And I went back and I repeated that. I said, you know what, maybe I'll sign it. It wouldn't be bad if their families get paid. They looked at me like I had two heads. They said, families? If the family wants to take out the insurance policy, that's on them.
Right.
This is for us. So I said, you think I'm going to ask Big Daddy Kane, Uzi Rap, Roxanne Shante, MC Shan, so forth and so on, to sign something that says, if they die, me and you get paid? And you know what they said to me? We don't need their signature. You already got them. We just need your signature.
So basically nowadays, with a lot of rappers getting killed, then that would be wonderful for labels to have life insurance policies.
Not just nowadays. You think Suge Knight ain't signed that shit?
Hell yeah.
You think Puffy ain't signed that shit?
Of course they did. They even
so
went out
there
there and got
trying to say
somebody
Biggie and Tupac made up that East Coast, West Coast bullshit. The first East Coast people on the West Coast was us.
Right.
Long before Puffy. And we was down with everybody. Me and Cool G Rap took a blood to a Crips house.
Yo, I ain't gonna front, Ty. Like, Cold Chillin Records was the first label of some real dope lyrical MCs from our area. And y'all did
you know what? Listen. For you to be down, you had to be at least as nice as the last. For you to be down with us, I'm gonna tell you something else you might not believe. I never signed an artist from a demo. Ever.
So what you signed the artist, what made you feel an artist to want to sign him?
I would say, if you came to me saying you could rap, I would say, rap.
And if he was good, he had a deal?
If he was good, you got a deal. If you made me go, oh shit, you got a deal. Because see, I know I got Marley Marl, I got Mr. Magic. I'm going to find the right tracks.
Right. And it's going
I need to know is you can rap.
And it was going to go right on the radio.
Right away.
I got a caller calling in right now. I got Annie Hardknock Life TV and Radio. She got a question for you. Yo, Annie, what's your question?
Well, I really don't have a question. I really just want to say I appreciate what you did back in the days. I'm 49 years old. I'm still a youth at heart. You did it. I appreciate you letting the world know that this is a dangerous game, and if it wasn't for you and you stepped out, because you really made what hip hop is today. You made it fly. You made it look good. And you made it sound good, and I love you for that. That's all I want to say. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old head. I love this interview. Worldarama, you did this. This is dope. I would love to have him on my platform to talk about the real deal about being in the industry and how they just dog us. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and we got to make a better way. Like, so what are we doing now, though, for our culture to keep it for us? So, yeah, I do have a question. How do we get around that demonic part of the game? I use demonic because I'm a minister, so but you know what I'm saying.
you hear up?
You know what? Can I say something? In my opinion, it all starts with home training. You're not gonna do what you're not gonna do. All right. Everybody doesn't have home training, so they deal with the demonic part of it. Everybody doesn't look at it as something that should be a character builder. Most people look at it and look at if think about today, the people that everybody revere the most are the ones with the most money.
Right.
When I was coming up, teachers had teachers. You looked up the teachers, you looked up the lawyers, you looked up the doctors, looked up the ministers, all right, character people, because you didn't look up the number runners, number bankers, and drug dealers. They have money, but you didn't look up to them.
Right.
All right. Nowadays, the complete opposite. Think about how people looked up to people. Listen, I remember, let me tell you something. I knew Puffy since I used to call him the Shan Man. He was a kid.
Why'd you call him the Shan Man?
Because he was an MC Shan fanatic.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. All right. I kept Puffy at Uptown because I was working with my man Andre before I ever had coldchillin. Andre hated Puffy and he hated Al B. Sure. Because they was Heavy D's boys, and they were saying they were backup dancers for Heavy D.
Right.
Andre was like, fuck that time. I'm Uptown, baby. Harlem. Fuck these country-ass mouth running niggas. Country-ass mouth running niggas. Al B. Sure was a Michael Jackson impersonator.
Wow.
So,
yo, Hard Knocks like you heard that?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yo, that's crazy. Hey yo, Todd, like, this is very informative hip hop culture information that you putting out here right now.
Yes.
So anyway, one day, with Andre didn't remember Heavy D was his star, so he had to be careful what he said to Puffy and Al, because they was Heavy's little boys, his little crew. So I said to Aunt, one day some junk mail came in. It says Sony Search for the Stars. It was like a postcard. And it said the first prize was $10,000 worth of studio equipment and a song produced by Quincy Jones. I said to Andre, put him in this. When it doesn't work, you can tell Heavy you did everything you could. He can't come back no more. I had no idea that he would win, but he won.
Wow.
And he was on Uptown Warner Brothers. Heavy, now Puffy got the name Puffy.
How?
First of all, let me tell you, it wasn't because he was a tough guy that people call him Puffy. Okay. But one other reason was Andre would give him. You ever saw that show Making of the Band that Puffy did?
Yeah, when he made them walk for the cheesecake.
Man, Andre used to do the same thing to him.
Oh, word?
Yes. because Andre was trying to get rid of her. Andre was sitting down and have his lunch, and Uptown started out in Brooklyn, and the Gowanus. And the only way you could get to Junior's was the cheesecake spot. You had to walk like 20 blocks. Andre would sit down and have his lunch and tell Puffy, go get my cheesecake, and you better be back by the time I finish. And he would do it. And he would do it. He
was just doing exactly what was done to him.
Exactly. Puffy didn't have it easy. Puffy did not have it easy.
So how did all of this gay stuff come into play with them? Like what somebody?
See, now when they talk to listen, I said that I knew Puffy at 16 years old. When you talk about that gay stuff, that's in like 1986. All right. You're talking that gay stuff, you're talking the new millennium, the 2000s.
Right.
I wasn't around him then. So I can't speak on that at all. All right. I know this girl, Jaguar, whatever her name is.
Jaguar Wright.
She just don't know what the fuck she talking about.
Oh, okay.
On a whole lot of shit. Because she wasn't there.
Right.
She guessing. She can speak on shit from the new millennium, but she can't sit and say Uptown made it because of Al B. Shaw and Christopher Williams, because that's just simply not true.
Right.
Heavy D was the star.
Yeah, Heavy D was the man.
Period. She don't know what she's talking about. All right.
Heavy D running Soul for Real.
All that stuff going on Uptown in the 90s, she wasn't even around.
Right.
I was there because listen, the three biggest cats in hip hop was me, Andre Harrell, and Russell Simmons.
Right.
And the three of us were roommates. People don't know that.
Right.
Me, Russell, and Andre were roommates in Left Rack City. We had
y'all was in Left Rack.
We had, my man, we had one room, not one bedroom, one room. We had a pull-out couch and a pull-out chair. I sleep on the pull-out chair. Russell and Andre slept on the pull-out couch.
Y'all made it happen.
And we started, that was with the birth of Cold Chillin' Uptown at the Def Jam. The birth of that. You think about that.
So
three young cats with a dream.
3 labels was formed: Def Jam, Cold Chillin', and Uptown Records, and y'all all was roommates in one room.
One room.
Wow.
And guess what? At the time that we were in that one room, you couldn't tell us we wasn't the shit.
Word.
This is amazing.
Hey, yo, Annie Hard Knock Life got one more question. Yo, Annie, go ahead. What you was gonna ask?
Okay, so yes, so this is amazing. 3 icons. Y'all didn't even know y'all was gonna be icons. Y'all had an idea, and y'all individually. Well, y'all still friends, like doing y'all thing. Like everybody starting their own label. Wasn't any kind of friction. Because now.
Okay, let me tell you when we started. Remember, I had radio. Andre was an artist, Dr. Jekyll.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Right. And he became an account exec at a station called WWIO. We were selling time. Russell was always a promoter, giving parties. All right. And then he had just become a manager. So he had Jimmy Spicer and Curtis Blow.
And Curtis Blow, right.
Right. That's what we had. All right. They were the two hottest. Jimmy Spicer might have been a little hotter. But like I said, and so Russell could get his records played because I was putting them on.
And he was y'all was people's, you was his roommate.
Right.
Now
I will tell you this, as time went on and our labels developed, we had what I would call a friendly competition.
Right.
Right. Okay.
We had a friendly competition. All right. For one thing, we were able to sample each other's stuff. We just charged each other $1.
Wow.
I sampled Def Jam, it'd be $1. He'd say on me it'd be $1, Uptown $1. That's what we charge.
I was like that trading places shit where y'all just bet each other for $1.
Right. All right. And one funny thing, we had the 3 hottest rappers at one time, right? And we used to have, once again, friendly arguments. And Orange would be like, yo, Heavy D, girls, they love him. And then Russell would say, what? If LL lick his lips, girls go crazy. And I would say, I got 3 words for you. Big Daddy Kane.
Whoa.
So, you know, we except now I'm gonna tell you the difference between me and them. I didn't hang out with them everywhere.
Right.
All right. My crew was my crew from Howard, and I grew up with them. They stayed my crew.
Right.
All right. I didn't, you know, I didn't go to Nels all the time, and I wasn't hanging out with all them all the time. I mean, I would go, but I wasn't going consistently like them.
Right.
All right. And I had a way, if you call me Flyty, then I just, you know, you ain't know me. Because nobody I knew from way back ever called me Flyty.
What would they call you?
Tyrone, T-Bone, Ty. That's it.
Right.
They never said Flyty, girl or guy. All right.
Wow.
Right. But so, and I never, ever, ever, I take that back. I have maybe 1 or 2 girls from the industry that I went out with.
I'm sure you got some pussy out of this game because you was real popular back then.
Nah, money. Nah, no. If I went out with you, you were signing checks.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't messing with. If I'm messing with you, you signing. I wasn't trying to bring nobody up to my level. I was trying to find, like Cheryl Sutton was my girl. You know who Cheryl Sutton was?
I heard of her before. Yeah.
Cheryl Sutton's father was Percy Sutton. They owned WBLS and 20 other stations.
Oh, wow.
That was my girl. All right.
You kept it business
radio station. You hear me?
You heard me? Yo, Ty, you heard me? You kept it business. You kept it business even in your love life.
But you know what? You gotta understand. I started out at BLS. I was making $6.75 an hour.
That was a lot back then.
And Cheryl was my age, but she was the treasurer, and she used to be stuck up to me.
Right.
When I rose and became what I became in the music industry, and I did these sold-out shows at the Apollo, which they also owned the Apollo, Percy Sutton attracted to me. It was almost like a pride thing. Here's a kid who started out as an intern and went all the way to this spot, a shareholder in Warner Brothers. I had a seat at the Warner Brothers shareholder meeting. That's a big deal. And Cheryl started, women like power too. And to her father was powerful. And she saw how I dealt with her father. And, you know, and plus Cheryl, without getting too personal, she had never been talked to like me. I talked to. All right. She wasn't, because I could be street, I could be corporate, and still be the same person.
Right.
You understand? So she was amazed by me. But the point I'm saying, me dealing with her, she didn't need shit from me. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
She ain't need no job from me. She ain't need no record deal from me. You know, so we got along fine. My wife, who I married a woman whose father was worth $300 million. A black woman. And she was an educator. She had no use for the entertainment industry whatsoever. At all.
Y'all still married? Y'all still
I
married?
used to have to, see, let me tell you something. I used to have to damn near beg her to go to the Grammys.
Oh, okay. She wasn't interested
not
in that.
interested. She was interested in her husband and her kids. That's it.
Are y'all still married today?
Nah, but it's not her fault. Let's just say that. Because, and I gotta be honest, Glamorous, you want it? I could be loyal, but I was never faithful.
That's like most of the people in the industry back then. It was too many women.
No. That's like most men.
Yeah.
Most men, hello.
That's a fact.
No, I was loyal, come home, do all the right things, supposedly, but I was sneaking out the back door.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something else. The music industry, my wife, I'm still married to the same woman. But the music industry, and I remember my grandmother said to my wife before we got married, she said, he's in the music industry, right? That means he ain't coming home from 9 to 5. Right. And there was times I'd be going 3 and 4 days.
That's kind of like me now.
Just be gone, and coming back like everything's okay. And she couldn't take that. She couldn't take that. And I understood, Well,
look, you contributed so much to the culture, you know what I'm saying? And I know you got like a zillion more stories. Like, I definitely want to bring you back on the show so we can just talk more in depth. You know what I'm saying? But the show is 2 hours, and I didn't pick your brain so much, but I know it's so much more you want to say. But look, just tell anybody that's coming up in the game right now, what do you think they should do to sustain their integrity and make it in the game? What advice you have?
All right, let me just say that. How to make it today, I can't advise, because I don't know. It's a different game, a way different game than when I was in it. There was a formula back when I was there. You make a good record, you go to the studio, you record it, you promote it, you put it out, you're gonna sell. Now I don't even know how they sell records. They don't sell records. They sell.
No, you can still sell your stuff on like Bandcamp and stuff like that.
They sell digital stuff. Do you remember? I don't know if you're old enough to remember. Yeah. We used to go up to the record store and buy a record. Do you all remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you bought that record, it was yours. You took it home. You put it on your shelf. It was yours forever, right?
Correct.
Nowadays, you buy music, you don't have nothing to put on your shelf.
Nope.
And when they wipe it clean, when they delete it, if you want it again, you gotta buy it again.
Nowadays, people don't even like write music anymore. Everything is like digital. You don't even have like papers with rhymes on it and shit like that.
It's so sad. It's so sad that there was a time when musicians meant a lot. That's why you had groups like Earth, Wind & Fire, Kool and the Gang, BT Express. People respected the musician.
Right.
People respected if you played the piano or the bass or the guitar or the trumpet. They respected that. Nowadays, because there's no music being taught in schools anymore.
Right.
2, because technology is taken it to another level somewhere else where you don't have to know how to play music. All you gotta do is have an ear.
Yep. So what's your take on the game now? Like, you know what I mean? Because you came from like back in that era where now everything is digitized and streams and all of that stuff. So what is your take on it? Like, how do you feel about this?
I mean, listen, it's like somebody asked me about, this is a few years ago, somebody asked me about, Ty, I know you don't like this garbage that's out now. I can't say that because I would be being a hypocrite.
Right.
Because I remember when they were saying that about what we did back in the 80s.
Yep.
The powers that be said, what is that garbage they doing? What is that trash? They dogged us.
Yep.
So
I remember.
I can't, you know, whether I like it or not, I can't dog it because it would be the same thing that everybody did. They did us bad, man.
Yeah, I know.
Let me tell you something. It was not easy.
I got one more statement.
It was not easy for what we had to do to get on the radio. All right, we had to go through hell.
But you know what?
Some stores wouldn't even sell our stuff.
Right, but they came around. They eventually came around, though.
No, yeah, but it was hard, brother.
I know.
It was hard. We had to go through it.
Hey, yo, Ty, it's real hard for a lot of us independent artists with dope ass music too. We gotta grind really hard.
Like I said, I don't know how. I can't tell anybody how to get somebody's attention because labels are not gonna sign you unless you got at least 1 million hits.
Right.
If you ain't got 1 million hits, you can't even talk to them.
Exactly.
Because they're not in the artist development because it don't mean nothing. All it means that the record, the song hits. They don't worry about making albums because, you know, they only gotta get a couple of hot singles.
But what if an executive seen an artist that got hot songs, but he just don't have all of those numbers? Why wouldn't they still want to get behind that?
Because they ain't got time and money for that.
Okay.
It's almost impossible. Let me tell you something. You can't listen. You listen to stuff today. Some stuff I hear is like, "Are you serious?" Based on my head, people like this. What? You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to tell who could have thought that a song that went peanut butter jelly. Who could have thought that was gonna be a big record?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember Sylvia Rome called me, because I have a youth program I was called Brooklyn United. All right. It's a marching band, but over the years, we've actually sent over 1,200 kids to college. And Sylvia Rome called me because she know I deal with all these kids. She said, Ty, what do the kids do? Well, how do they choose their music? She said, we'll spend $500,000 on a video and get 10,000 hits. And a kid will make their video in their kitchen and get 10 million hits. How we compete?
You're right.
So I'm at the thing where I can't really tell you.
So would you say you would get back into the music industry?
Never.
He said never.
Never.
But you still eat off of your catalog though, right?
Well, that's 40 years old.
Do you think Hip Hop 50 brought a resurgence back to a lot of the pioneers of the game, like yourself, Big Daddy Kane, and all these artists from back then?
Okay, let me. I'm gonna answer that with a question. You ever heard of Count Basie?
Yes.
You ever heard of Duke Ellington?
Yes.
You ever heard of Sarah Vaughan?
No.
Della Reese?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. In the 80s, could they have come back? They're artists in the 40s. Could they come back in the 80s? You respect them, and you might even go see them. But they can't come back and compete against people 40 years younger than them. They can't, because young people like young people.
Yeah, but Ty, I went to a lot of these concerts for the celebration of Hip Hop 50, where it's all of the artists that came out in the 80s and the 90s. And yo, the crowds be fully packed with everybody over 30. It's still an audience out there.
Let me tell you this, bro. Listen to me. Pay close attention. There's an audience that talk a lot of shit, but they ain't spending no money.
Yo, I ain't gonna front, Todd. The Madison Square Garden, Barclays, them shits was packed, bro, and everybody was older people in it.
Listen to me. That's once a year, once every 2 years. I'm talking about consistently going to the store, buying records. People that have records out, artists have records out, artists have albums out, but they ain't selling.
Right.
Because this audience ain't buying.
Got you.
And this guy's funny. He put, what? No saxophone. But she said, what? But it's hard. It's hard. You know, I'm not saying nobody could make an album from this who came out in the 80s. But it's difficult just based on attrition, based on timing. You know, we want to say, with me, I would teach, like I teach our kids all about our past artists. All right. When you hear our music next to new stuff, I went to a club in DC. One of my kids owns a club in DC. One of my Martin Band kids. One of the biggest clubs in DC, all like 2,000 people. I went there about 5 years ago during Howard's homecoming. Every record I heard, I never heard it, but the shit sounded good.
Right.
And when they tried to play old school joint, it didn't fit.
Right.
It didn't fit. You know what I'm saying? It didn't fit. So,
all right.
So yeah, you could do it. Plus, let me tell you something else. When you talk about, now when you say old school, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about like the shows that I was going to was having like EPMD there. You know what I mean? Rakim.
Okay, let's talk about this. Okay.
Grandmaster Caz was coming out.
Let's talk about their audience. Their audience is going to be from 55 plus. Right? Right?
It was looking like that's the age limit that people was there. It was like 40
and
up.
Okay.
40 and up.
They ain't doing this to me. They ain't going out after 10 o'clock but so many times.
Right.
10 o'clock, they're in the house. It gotta be. It could be one function, like I said, a year. They'll go somewhere. But that same audience, when they was 19 and 20, we went out every weekend.
Yeah, it was.
And stayed out all night.
Facts. I'm still doing that now, and it's taking a toll on me.
When I used to go out, I didn't even start getting ready to after 10. Back in the day. Now, I'm coming back by 10. Yo,
Tom, man, I thank you for all of your contributions that you added to this hip hop culture. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to have you on my show. I'm gonna chop up these clips so much and be going hard with this shit because you're a very important person in the hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to give you your flowers and let you know. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Annie Hard Knock Life, she's still on the phone. You know what I mean? My show actually comes on her platform too, on Roku and Fire TV. You know what I'm saying? It's also on Rough Riders, iHeart. You know what I'm saying? Instagram, grindhardtv.com. So Annie, you said you have one more question. You're going to ask this one more question, and we're going to let Flyty go. Go ahead.
Okay, real quick, just acknowledge that I was sitting in the seminar with Uncle Ralph, and he had Chuck Rock there. And the whole blueprint that the industry have right now, Chuck Rock said he wanted to try to figure out how he could stay relevant once the internet took off. So he created this whole put my music online, created this whole type streaming thing. I don't know if it was called streaming, whatever he did, but it was a Spotify type thing. He said that they stole it from him, and he's going to court right now to sue some streaming people, some platforms that is running with it. And he's actually, because that was his blueprint, and he got sued and dropped from his record label because he came up with making all that money on the internet, because he said that his contract didn't say nothing about giving y'all PC or for the money on the internet, because the internet didn't even exist at the time.
You're right.
Right.
That's a good question, Ty. I like your answer on that one. Let's see.
Well, listen, do
you know about this Chubb Rock situation? He's in court right now.
I don't know about it, but I can understand it. All right. The music industry is such that, like you said, the internet didn't exist, but the music industry prepares itself with one word. It's called perpetuity.
Right, perpetuity. I heard that.
All right. Perpetuity means if you make music on the moon, we still own it. If we make music on something we never heard of yet, we still own it. So that's why when it comes to the internet and streaming, it didn't exist. Nobody even knew it was going to exist. But when I own something to perpetuity, it covers that.
Jesus.
Even if Chubb Rock created it, he don't own it. Now you can go to court and fight it. I don't know how much money it would take to fight it. Unfortunately, in this country, it takes money to fight in court.
Right.
I had to fight. I had to fight Warner Bros. For my catalog. It took. They almost just moneyed me out.
Okay.
You understand?
Hey, yo, Tom.
Because
the meaning of perpetuity is a bond or other security with no fixed maturity date.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no fixed date. So that means forever. Forever. So how could so really it should be illegal to say I got you into perpetuity.
Yeah,
it should
crazy.
be illegal to put that in a contract. How
that's crazy.
Somebody make a deal with you and say into perpetuity? How can somebody say that? Well, you owe me forever?
Yeah, but you being a label owner of coldchillin, and you say you own all of these masters, so now that the music is now all online, would you still collect off of those streams?
The master, yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
The master,
right. So that's the
master,
right there.
But no, I own that. I bought that.
Oh, okay, right.
I'm saying, but guess what? I don't own Big Daddy Kane's till perpetuity.
Right.
I can't say you can't do shit without me.
But you get paid off the streams off of that music.
But so does he.
Right. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Every one of my artists sold me their publishing. Every one of them.
They all sold you their publishing?
Every one of them.
Wow.
How come? How did you do that? Your personality, your real to being authentic?
Nah, because when they want money, I told you earlier, you get them $1,000 a point. So that's like a bank to them. So they'll come back and say, I give you 30 points, you give me 30,000.
Right.
Oh.
That's
I gave everybody 10 years ago, I gave everybody their publishing back. Everybody.
Do you have a mentorship program?
I'm sorry?
She said, do you have a mentorship program?
Well, not as far as music is concerned, but through Brooklyn United. Brooklyn United is a program we have kids from 8 to 18. It's a marching band, but we also do education, homework, and like I said, since 2002, we sent over 1,200 so-called at-risk kids to college. Most of them graduated.
So how do we get in contact, Worldarama, to be part of this? You know I want to work with the youth and stuff like that.
Well, you know, basically
look up BrooklynUnited.com. It's very easy.
BrooklynUnited.com, y'all. BrooklynUnited.com is the organization
Google it.
affiliated with.
You can Google it. Well, Brooklyn United. Just Google Brooklyn United.
Because as a church member at my I go to Love Fellowship Tabernacle, and one of the people in the sound team, I work on the sound team for Bishop Hezekiah Walker, so he does the marching bands and stuff like that. He's real good at that stuff, so I'll pass along the information to Chris and see, how we can volunteer, help out with the youth and stuff like that, because I'm heavy on that. Facts. So that's good. This was great. I appreciate this.
Hey, yo, Flyty. Yo, Annie Hard Knocks.
Everybody, listen. I have to run. I don't know.
We went over. We actually went over on the show, but I couldn't not get all of this information that you was giving us. You know what I'm saying?
Like I told you, I'm here with an old friend of mine who's in a hospice situation.
Definitely.
So I got to get back to him. All right.
Flyty, appreciate you for coming on my show.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Yo, I appreciate y'all for being on the show.
I appreciate everybody who's here on this online with us and whoever I talked to. All right, this was
everybody
good.
that chimed in. It was wonderful. It's Flyty CEO on Instagram. If y'all want to follow him, you know what I'm saying. You see what it is. Yo, Ty, salute, man. I'm happy to have you here. I'm happy you're here with us, and I'm glad that I can give you my flowers, give you your flowers on my platform, because your stories and your contributions to the game is very important. I appreciate you.
All right, brother. Thank you. I got to go.
You already know.
All right, y'all.
Annie Hard Knocks Life. Peace.
The boogeyman's back.
Hey. This world is cold, such a cold world. Hope you warm, girl, 'cause I could warm you up, girl. Cold world, such a cold world, where we are in the cold world. Hey, cold world, just a cold world. Oh, cold world, just a cold world.
People tell me that I'm cold, but I'm really only Arctic. Abominable, I'm bombing on you if you start shit. You wanna see me heated, get me started, cause I pop quick. And when the beast comes out, there is no doubt that you can stop it. So stop it, the clock ticks, I waste no time on bullshit. You really need to know if you pull slow, then I'ma pull quick. The chrome blick, the full clip, they follow you hollow tips. You keep running your mouth and that's my words, you will swallow it. That's what you get, I flip the script, you run your lips, cause you a snitch, you little bitch. You broke no gyps, I back and rip, get yourself in. You on the list, no one will miss your body laying in the ditch. You been disclosed, you decompose, you sold your soul, now don't you sit, bitch.
This world is cold, such a cold world. Hope you warm, girl, 'cause I could warm you up, girl. Cold world, such a cold world, where we are in the cold world. Hey, cold world, just a cold world. Oh, cold world.
Come on.
Just a cold world.
On your mark, get set, ready, go, steady flow. Better know that this world is cold. You the one that sold your soul. You the one took off your clothes. You put that dick in your hole. You went there to suck a pole. Now you said he was too old. Claiming virginity stole. Blame game infinity stone. Saying you should have been shown. Mainly you wanna be grown. Outside you should have been home. Tucked in with mommy alone. Fuck the industry strong. Now you just pass her along. Look at P. Diddy, he wrong. So bad you wanna be owned. Illuminati rule your mind, soul, and your body. That shit you don't really want. Cat Williams said it in song. Take heed when you have been shown. Forever you will be scorned. Gone.
This world is cold, such a cold world. Hope you warm, girl, 'cause I could warm you up, girl. Cold world, such a cold world, where we are in the cold world. Hey, cold world, just a cold world. Oh, cold world, just a cold world.
People tell me that I'm cold, but I'm really only Arctic. Abominable, I'm bombing on you if you start shit. Abominable, I'm bombing on you if you start shit. People tell me that I'm cold, but I'm really only Arctic. Abominable, I'm bombing on you if you start shit. Abominable, I'm bombing on you if you start shit.
This is Rough Riders Radio, where real hip hop lives.